Let me ask you something real. When you look at the people who seem to win at work, in relationships, in fitness, in business, do you ever wonder what's actually different about them? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. It's rarely their talent. It's rarely their luck. And it's definitely not some magical, born winner gene. Most of the time, the top 1% is winning because their mind doesn't do what your mind does. Your brain is probably trying to protect you. It tells you to wait, to be careful, to keep your options open, to avoid embarrassment, to make excuses that sound reasonable enough to keep you comfortable. And comfort is a thief. Comfort steals momentum. Comfort kills discipline. Comfort turns "I want to be great" into "maybe someday." But champions? Champions don't wait for confidence. They build it. They don't negotiate with fear. They manage it. They don't hope for results. They think in a way that produces results. In the next hour plus, I'm going to coach you like a teammate, straight, warm, and honest, on how to develop the mindset of the top 1% and start thinking like a champion. Not someday, not when you're ready, now. Because your future doesn't care about your intentions, it responds to your mindset. You're either training your mind, or your mind is training you. Introduction. You're here because something in you is tired. Maybe you're tired of trying hard and still feeling stuck. Tired of starting with energy and ending with excuses. Tired of watching other people move faster while you keep asking, "Why not me?" Or maybe it's worse. Maybe you're not even stuck, you're just not fully alive yet. Like you know you're capable of more, but you can't consistently access it. You can reach it for a week, maybe two, then life hits, stress hits, doubt walks in like it owns the place. I get it. I've seen this pattern up close, on stage, in offices, in gyms, in living rooms at midnight when someone is staring at their ceiling thinking, "I know what I should do, so why can't I just do it?" Here's what nobody tells you clearly enough. The gap isn't only what you do, it's what you believe while you do it. It's the conversations your mind has when nobody's watching. This audiobook is going to change that. How to develop the mindset of the top 1% and think like a champion isn't about motivational quotes. It's not about fake confidence or pretending you don't feel fear. We're going to deal with the real stuff. We'll talk about the gap between average and the top 1%, not the shallow stuff, the actual internal mechanisms. Why some people seem to bounce back faster, work smarter longer, and keep their focus when your mind wants to scatter. Then we'll go step by step into how champions think differently, what they notice, what they ignore, and how they frame challenges so they don't freeze. After that, we'll break the beliefs that keep you stuck, the beliefs that sound harmless but they quietly run your life. The ones like, "I'm not built for this. If I fail, it means something about me. I need more time. I'm behind." And you'll learn how to build mental toughness from the inside out, not by forcing yourself to suffer, by training your mind to stay steady under pressure. You'll also get a system for emotional mastery, because your feelings don't control you unless you let them. We'll build the skill of steering your emotions instead of getting dragged by them. And finally, you'll learn how the top 1% creates the right environment, people, routines, information, and how they turn failure into fuel so they don't fear it, they use it. By the end, you won't just feel inspired. You'll know what to do on Monday morning when motivation disappears. You'll have a way of thinking that keeps working even when life gets loud. So take a breath. You're not broken, you're just untrained. Let's train you. Chapter 1. the gap between average and the top 1%. You don't fail because you're lazy. You fail because your mind treats effort like a threat. Let's start with a scene I know you've lived. Picture this. It's Monday morning. You've got a plan. Maybe it's training at the gym. Maybe it's studying for a certification. Maybe it's starting a business idea you keep circling like a predator. Whatever it is, you feel good at first. Then the alarm goes, or the kids wake up, or your phone buzzes with a message that pulls you off course, or your work gets chaotic, and suddenly you're bargaining with yourself. Just this once. I'll do it after work. I'm tired today. I'll start properly next week. That's not laziness. That's negotiation. Average people negotiate with discomfort. The top 1%, they don't. They plan for discomfort the way a pilot plans for turbulence. They expect it. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody likes. The difference between average and the top 1% isn't their ability to want things. It's their ability to stay loyal to what they decide when their emotions argue back. The top 1% understand a simple principle. Your actions are rarely about what you know. They're about what your mind believes is safest. Your brain runs safety protocols. It asks, is this risky? Will I look stupid? Will I feel pain? Will I be embarrassed if I try and it doesn't work? So it offers shortcuts. It says, stay comfortable, delay, reduce effort, find evidence you're right to wait. And when you accept those messages, you don't just lose a day. You train your identity to expect avoidance. Now let's talk about the real gap. It shows up in 3 places. First, how they define a bad day. Average says, I had a bad day, so I'm behind now. Top 1% says, I had a bad day, and I'm still the kind of person who doesn't quit. Big difference. The average mindset turns a moment into a verdict, like, I failed today, therefore I'm a failure. The champion mindset turns a moment into data. I failed today, so I adjust. Second, how they respond to friction. When something gets hard, average people interpret it as a sign to stop. They think, if it was meant for me, it would feel easier. Top 1% interprets friction as the cost of entry. Let me put this in human terms. Imagine you're learning a new skill, say public speaking. You stand up to speak, your throat tightens, and your mind starts screaming, oh no, you're going to mess up. Average you might avoid it next time. You'll tell yourself you need more preparation, even though the real reason is fear. The top 1%? They still feel the fear. They just don't treat fear as a referee. Fear is a signal. They stay anyway. They speak for 2 minutes when they want to hide. They review one thing they can improve, then they go again. Third, how they handle almost. Average people settle at almost good enough. Top 1% treats almost like unfinished work. You know that feeling when you finish something but you don't feel proud? Average says, it's fine, done is done. Top 1% says, what would make this worthy of your future? Not perfection, worthy. Because the top 1% isn't chasing ego, they're building standards. Standards are how you get consistent outcomes. Here's another scene. Imagine 2 employees in a company. Both are capable. Both work hard at first. Then a project comes up that's messy. Ambiguity, stakeholders, deadlines that don't care about your feelings. Average starts looking for reasons. This isn't my job. They should have planned better. I don't have what I need. And when things go wrong, average adds stories to protect their self-image. Top 1% doesn't deny reality. They just don't surrender agency. They say, okay, what can I control today? What's the next most useful step? Who can I ask? What can I learn from this? Same circumstances, different mindset. Now you might be thinking, okay, but how do I actually shift this? How do I stop negotiating? You don't stop negotiating by thinking positive thoughts. You stop negotiating by installing new rules. Let's create. Your first rule: never miss twice for the same reason. If you skip today because you were tired, then tomorrow you adjust sleep earlier or shorten the session, but you don't pretend the reason disappears. Rule 2. You don't trust motivation. You schedule obedience. Motivation is emotional weather. It changes. Scheduling is structural. It doesn't care how you feel. Rule 3. Your identity gets trained by your smallest repeated actions. If you say you want to be disciplined but you skip the small thing, your mind records that contradiction and updates your identity. We don't follow through. Top 1% makes the action small enough to be repeatable, but serious enough to be meaningful. Because champions understand something key: the mind believes what you repeatedly prove. Now I want you to notice something about the top 1%. They're not walking around with confidence all day. They're walking around with commitment all day. Confidence shows up after results. Commitment shows up first. So when you feel that internal pull toward distraction, toward delay, toward just later, your job isn't to argue with it. Your job is to redirect your behavior. Ask yourself a question champions use. What would I do if I was already the person I'm trying to become? Then do one step that matches that answer. One step, right now. Because the gap between average and the top 1% isn't a mystery skill. It's a mindset training program. It's thought patterns plus behavior, and you can train it. Takeaway one-liner: the top 1% doesn't avoid discomfort. They decide that discomfort doesn't get a vote. Chapter 2. How champions think differently. You might think champions think more positively. But that's not the real difference. Champions think directionally. Their thoughts don't just feel good. They move them. They aim them. They steer their energy like a compass, not like a mood. Let me show you what I mean with a real-life example. Imagine you bomb a presentation. Your slides were fine, but your voice shook. Your mind went blank for a second. You ended early because panic took over. Now you're walking back to your desk and replaying it. Average thinking looks like this: I knew it. I'm not good at this. I embarrassed myself. This is proof I'm not cut out for it. Next time I'll probably mess up too. That thinking doesn't help you. It shrinks you. It makes you avoid. It makes you overthink. It turns future performance into a fear story. Champion thinking sounds different, not because they're delusional, because they're trained. They'll say, okay, that happened. Why? What was the trigger? How do I reduce the risk next time? What's the smallest practice I can do today? See the shift? Both minds are analyzing the moment, but average analysis protects ego. Champion analysis improves outcomes. Champions don't treat thoughts like truths. They treat thoughts like signals. Here are 6 ways champions think differently, so you can borrow the same mental moves. 1. They focus on what they can influence. Average spends time asking, why is this happening to me? Champions ask, what can I do about it right now? Influence is a superpower. When you focus on influence, you stop feeling trapped. When you focus on what should have been, you keep yourself powerless. So when your plan breaks, don't ask, how unfair? Ask, what's the next lever? 2. They separate identity from performance. You might say, I'm bad at running. Champions say, running today was hard. One sentence kills growth, the other creates it. You're not your worst attempt. You're your ability to learn from it. A champion mindset protects your identity so failure doesn't become a personality. 3. They use if-then thinking like a strategist. Average thinks in hopes and wishes. If I feel motivated, I'll train. If the week is calm, I'll study. Champions think in plans. If I'm tired, I'll do the minimum session. If I get interrupted, I'll restart within 10 minutes. They remove decision fatigue. They don't wait to react, they pre-decide. 4. They track process, not just outcomes. Average says, did I succeed? Champions ask, did I show up the way I committed to? That's huge. Outcomes are like lottery results. They're influenced by timing and variables you can't control. Process is a skill. Process is trainable. If you track process, you always know what to do next. 5. They turn pressure into information. When pressure hits, average reads it as danger. I'm stressed, so I'm in trouble. Champions read it as feedback. My body is revving. How do I channel it? They don't pretend pressure isn't there. They just refuse to worship it. Think about athletes. A runner hears the gun and their heart pounds. That's pressure. But a champion doesn't panic. They lean into rhythm. Your version of that rhythm might be breathing, pacing, a short warm-up, and a clear first action. 6. They practice mental rehearsal. Average waits until they're in the situation to think. Champions rehearse before. They imagine the moment. They imagine the feelings. They imagine what they'll do when doubt shows up. Not as fantasy, as preparation. That's why some people walk into hard conversations or difficult tasks and feel calmer. They've already been there, in their mind. So the real moment feels less like an emergency. Now let's bring this into your life. Tell me something. When you're about to do something hard, what thought grabs you first? Is it, what if I fail? Is it, I don't know enough yet? Is it, I don't have time? Whatever it is, that thought is a control attempt by your brain. It's trying to keep you safe by limiting risk. So instead of fighting the thought, you challenge its job. Say this in your head. Thanks, brain. I see you. Now step aside. Then you give your mind a new job. Support the next action. Champions don't ask, what should I feel? They ask, what should I do? That's how you break the cycle. Here's a simple practice you can start today. The champion reset. 2 minutes. Name the thought. I'm thinking I'll mess up. Separate it from fact. That's a prediction, not a command. Choose the action. The next right step is blank. Do the step immediately, even if it's small. This is how you train your brain to cooperate instead of sabotage. Because in the top 1%, thinking isn't about winning debates inside your head. It's about winning your next decision. Takeaway one-liner. Champions don't think better, they think usefully. They turn every moment into a plan. Chapter 3. Breaking the beliefs that keep you stuck. You have beliefs running your life that you didn't consciously choose. And if you don't name them, they'll keep driving you, blindfolded. This is the part that hurts a little, because it means your problem might not be effort, it might be a hidden story. Let's talk about a story you might recognize. A few months ago you said, "This year will be different." You made goals. You cleaned your schedule. You even told someone close to you. And then the first setback hit. Maybe you missed a week, or your motivation dipped, or you got rejected, or you felt behind. And then your mind jumped in with a belief that sounded like logic. See, I'm just not consistent. Maybe I'm not that type of person. If it were meant for me, it would be easier. That belief didn't come from nowhere. It's been there for a long time. It's part of your identity. It's how your brain stays right and keeps you predictable. Beliefs feel like facts because they're emotional. They're not logical, they're protective. So how do champions break beliefs? They don't argue with them like their roommates. They dismantle them like engineers. Here's what to look for. Beliefs usually show up as rules you don't question. You might hear these rules in your head. I can only start when I feel ready. I need more time. If I try and fail, it means I'm not smart. Other people have something I don't. I'll never be the kind of person who follows through. Those rules decide your actions before you even choose them. Average behavior is often just rule following. Champions rewrite the rules. Beliefs create emotional debt. When you break your own rule, like when you skip a workout or don't follow up with someone, you don't just lose a day. You accumulate guilt. You build resentment toward yourself. You start distrusting your word. Then the belief gets stronger because your behavior confirms it. It becomes a loop. Belief to behavior to proof to belief gets reinforced. Champions interrupt the loop. They break proof. Then beliefs weaken. Beliefs hide behind good intentions. Sometimes your belief isn't, "I'm lazy." It's, "I'm careful." Careful can look noble. I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to embarrass myself. I'm going to wait until I can do it perfectly. But careful can be a disguise for fear. Here's a real scenario. You want to apply for a job that's a level up. You have the skills, mostly, but you keep researching just to be sure. You keep polishing your resume. You keep tweaking. You say, "I'm preparing." Preparation can be healthy, but if preparation turns into avoidance, it becomes a belief mechanism. The hidden belief might be, "If I apply and don't get it, I'll feel worthless." So, your brain delays the moment that risks emotional pain. Champions don't ignore the fear, they shrink the risk. They apply anyway with a learning mindset. They treat outcomes like feedback, not identity verdicts. How to break a belief that's stuck in your bones? You need 4 steps, not complicated, just real. Step 1. Identify the belief in plain words, not the symptom, the belief. Example, "I'm behind" is symptom. "I'm not the kind of person who figures things out" is belief. Write it down, say it out loud, make it ugly and specific. Step 2. Find the moment it formed. Most beliefs come from one strong experience plus interpretation. Maybe you failed a class and decided you weren't smart. Maybe you got teased and decided you should stay quiet. Maybe you tried and someone criticized you harshly and you decided it was safer to wait. You don't need to re-traumatize yourself. You just need context. Because when you know where it came from, it becomes less like truth and more like old data. Step 3. Challenge the belief with counterproof, not positive thinking. Actual evidence. Ask, when have I contradicted this before? What did I do even though I didn't feel fully confident? Who benefits if I keep believing this? Champions gather counterproof like a detective. Even small contradictions matter. You said you couldn't do it, but you did. That's evidence. Step 4. Replace the belief with an action-based identity, not "I believe I can." That's cheap. Use "I am the kind of person who," then attach it to behavior. I am the kind of person who trains even when I'm tired. I am the kind of person who sends the message before I feel ready. I am the kind of person who keeps promises to myself. Then your behavior confirms the new belief, over and over. Now I want you to try this right now for one belief. Pick one area where you feel stuck. Relationships, money, fitness, work, discipline, focus. Then answer this. What belief is running your life right now? Maybe it's, I don't deserve more. I always mess it up. I'm not consistent. Then do the champion move. Replace it with an identity sentence and choose one small action that proves it today. Not tomorrow, today. Because belief breaks through proof, not through debate. Remember this. Your brain will resist change. It will want you to stay loyal to the old story. That resistance is not a sign you're failing, it's a sign you're changing. Take away one-liner. Beliefs don't change with thoughts, they change with repeated evidence. Chapter 4. Building mental toughness from the inside out. You don't get mental toughness from hype. You get it from what you practice when it's not impressive. Mental toughness is not about never feeling pain. It's about not obeying pain. There's a difference. Let me take you into a moment that's probably familiar. It's late. You're tired. Your motivation is gone. You have two options: quit or continue. And in that quiet space, your mind tries to bargain. It's fine. Tomorrow, no one will notice. You worked hard earlier. Your energy is low. Be kind to yourself. And you know what's happening. Your brain is trying to protect your comfort. Top 1% people build toughness by training the exact moment you want to fold. They don't wait for a strong version of themselves to arrive. They create it. Mental toughness starts with internal respect. Champions respect themselves enough to keep promises. Not grand promises, small ones. They might tell you a story like, I used to skip workouts all the time. Then they changed one thing. They stopped asking, do I feel like it? They started asking, have I kept my word? When your internal self-respect goes up, toughness follows. Because toughness is basically, I can handle discomfort without abandoning myself. They build tolerance, not escape. Average people treat discomfort like a fire alarm. They hear a stomach drop or feel tension in their chest and interpret it as danger. Champions treat discomfort like a thermostat. It might be cold, it might be hot. Either way, their job is to regulate. Their job is to adapt. Here's a real-life example. Imagine you're trying to wake up early to train. The first week is rough. You hit snooze. You tell yourself it's just one day, then 2 days, then a week. The belief forms, I can't wake up early. But toughness would do something else. It would ask, what is the smallest version of early waking I can tolerate? So you do a training that starts at a realistic time. Or you set your clothes out the night before. Or you get out of bed the second the alarm rings and you don't debate it. You just move your body, even if it's only 5 minutes. Not to impress, to prove to yourself that you can tolerate the feeling of ugh and still act. Champions don't chase confidence, they chase competence. Confidence feels good, it's also unreliable. Competence is earned, it's stable. Mental toughness is a side effect of competence because when you trust your skill, you stop panicking. That's why champions keep learning, not endlessly, intelligently. They take challenges they can grow into, then they grow. Even when they feel uncertain, their actions show up because they've built proof. The toughness formula: discomfort plus decision plus repetition. Let's make it practical. Discomfort. You create or accept a controlled challenge. Decision. You choose the action anyway. Repetition. You do it again until your mind stops treating it like an emergency. Most people skip step 1. They try to be tough without practicing toughness. You can't. Your nervous system learns through repetition. So when you feel that mental heat, when your mind wants to run, you need to make a clean decision fast. Not a dramatic decision, a simple one. Even if I feel like quitting, I will do the next right step. That's mental toughness in its purest form. How to train it daily, a simple exercise. Try this today. It takes 5 minutes and it's weirdly powerful. Pick one small task you avoid: sending a message, starting a workout, writing the first page, making the phone call. Then use this script. Step 1. I don't want to do this. Yes, say it. Naming it drains it. Step 2. My brain is trying to protect me. Now you're not mad at yourself, you're understanding the pattern. Step 3. I will do 60 seconds. Not 60 minutes, 60 seconds. Step 4. After 60 seconds, I'll reassess. This keeps you from feeling trapped, but it keeps you moving. Here's what happens after a few days. Your mind stops treating avoidance as the default. It starts treating action as normal. That's toughness. Watch what happens to your identity once you practice this. Something shifts inside you. You start thinking, I can handle hard things. I don't collapse when it gets uncomfortable. I don't have to feel fearless to keep going. That belief is the fuel that powers everything else. Because when you're mentally tough, you don't only chase goals, you chase alignment. You do what's right, even when your feelings aren't cooperating. Takeaway one-liner. Mental toughness is keeping your promise to yourself before you feel ready. Chapter 5. The Power of Vision and Obsessive Goals. You don't just need motivation. You need a target so specific that your mind stops drifting. Vision is not a painting on a wall. It's not a quote on a phone screen. Vision is the reason you move when nothing feels inspiring. Because let's be honest, when life gets noisy, your goals either pull you forward or they dissolve. Top 1% people don't rely on mood, they rely on direction. And direction comes from vision, clear enough to guide your daily decisions. Vision turns your day into a mission. Picture this. It's a random Tuesday. Nothing special is happening. You're tired, you're hungry, your phone is buzzing. Now a choice appears. Do you scroll or do you work toward what matters? Average people get trapped by the moment. The moment feels urgent, it feels loud. Champions get rescued by vision. Vision tells you, this isn't the urgent thing, this is the distraction. Let me give you a real scenario. Maybe you want financial freedom, or maybe you want to build a business. If your vision is vague, I want money someday, then your mind treats every short-term comfort as harmless. But if your vision is sharp, I will build a service that pays $5,000 a month by September because I want time with my family and no more stress, then the choice becomes obvious. Your daily actions start competing with a future you can actually feel. That's why vision is powerful. It creates friction against distractions. How to build a vision that actually works. Most people write goals like wishes. I hope I become fit. I want to be successful. Wish goals don't pull hard, they float. Champion vision is built like an engine. It has 3 parts: who you become, not just what you achieve. Example, you become a disciplined person who trains even when it's inconvenient. Why it matters. Your why must be emotional enough to survive bad days. Example, so your kids never have to hear you say, we can't afford it. Proof in time. You attach vision to a timeline, not to be rigid, so you stop negotiating. Then you create obsessed goals, not random goals, not gentle goals. Obsessive goals are specific and time-bound. They leave no room for maybe later. Obsessive goals are focused, not frantic. Let's clear up a misunderstanding. Obsessed doesn't mean you freak out all day. It means you keep returning. It means your mind keeps circling the mission, even when your emotions try to escape. Top 1% people have obsession with outcomes, but they earn it through obsession with systems. Their goal might be, run a marathon in under 4 hours. Their obsession shows up as my weekly mileage, my intervals, my recovery habits. They don't sit and wait for inspiration. They stack evidence. The daily link, from vision to next action. Here's what vision must do. It must tell you what to do today. If your vision can't guide your next step, it's just a dream. So ask yourself this. What is the one action that moves me closest to my obsessed goal right now? Not later, now. And it has to be doable. If it's too big, your brain will resist. Champions break the gap between where you are and where you want to go into daily reps. You don't become through one giant moment. You become through repeated decisions that match your future. A story about obsession. Think about a person you might know, or maybe it's you. They used to talk a lot about change. They started strong. They even posted once or twice. Then something happened. Bills, stress, a breakup, a busy month. After that, their goals became stories, not actions. Why? Because their vision wasn't anchored in a daily mission. Their goals weren't obsessed enough to survive reality. When the excitement faded, their actions faded. Champion obsession doesn't require excitement. It requires commitment to a defined direction. How to turn vision into a scoreboard. Try this tonight. Write your vision in one paragraph. Who you will be, why it matters, what success looks like in measurable terms. Then create 3 obsessed goals for the next 90 days. Each one should be specific, measurable, time-bound. Now add a simple scoreboard. Daily action, what you do every day. Weekly review, what you evaluate every week. Non-negotiable standard, what you do even when motivation is low. Example, if your goal is fitness. Daily action, 30-minute workout plan plus 10-minute walk. Weekly review, weight trend plus workout completion. Non-negotiable standard, no 0 days. If you miss, you do the minimum. You're not waiting for the right time. You're building momentum toward the life you said you wanted. One question to keep you honest when you feel lazy, ask, is this action aligned with the person I'm becoming? If the answer is no, don't negotiate, adjust and move. Vision doesn't just inspire you, it disciplines you. Takeaway one-liner. A champion's vision doesn't live in their head, it controls their next action. Chapter 6. Mastering your emotions like a pro. You're not your emotions. But right now they might be driving your life like a car with no driver. Let's get real. You've felt it. You wake up and your mood is heavy. You're irritated for no clear reason, or anxious, or low energy. And suddenly your whole day changes shape around that feeling. Average people say, I feel like this, so I guess this is who I am today. Champions say something different. Okay, I feel this. Now what's my next move? That's emotional mastery. Not suppressing feelings, not pretending they're not there, steering through them. Emotions are information, not instructions. Your feelings are like a dashboard warning light. It's telling you something: stress, fear, unmet needs, exhaustion. But a dashboard light doesn't get to park the car. It can't decide the destination. You do. So when you feel anger, you don't have to attack. When you feel fear, you don't have to hide. When you feel sadness, you don't have to quit. You ask, what is my emotion trying to protect me from? That question is the beginning of control. The biggest mistake, wrestling your emotions. Average people fight their feelings. They say, "Why am I feeling this? I shouldn't feel this. I'm fine. Why don't I feel fine?" And the fight creates more pain. Champions don't wrestle, they observe. They say, "Here's fear, here's resistance, here's anxiety." Then they act based on values, not sensations. Because feelings can be loud, values are steady. A real scenario, the moment of temptation. Imagine you're trying to stay consistent with your work. It's late, you're behind. You look at your to-do list and your brain starts screaming, "Don't start, you'll fail." Your body gets tense, your heart speeds up, your phone feels like an escape. Now the temptation shows up. Scroll, watch, anything to numb. Average responds emotionally, "I can't handle it, I need a break." Champion responds strategically, "Of course I want escape. This is what my brain does when it's uncomfortable." Then they use a pro move. They shrink the task. They say, "I'll do 2 minutes," or "I'll start with the easiest part," or "I'll open the document and write one ugly sentence." This is key. Emotional mastery is not making feelings disappear. It's making feelings irrelevant enough for you to move. Learn the champion emotion cycle. Let's break it down. Trigger, something happens. A comment, a deadline, a memory. Interpretation, your brain gives it a meaning. Emotion, fear, anger, shame, frustration. Impulse, what you want to do right now. Action, what you choose. Average gets stuck because they believe the interpretation is truth. Champions understand the meaning step is optional, so they change it. Example, trigger, your boss asks for an update. Average interpretation, I'm in trouble, I'm failing. Champion interpretation, they need clarity, I can provide it. Same situation, different internal story, different emotional response. How to steer emotions in real time, 3 tools. Here are 3 tools you can practice starting today. Tool 1, name it fast. When you feel triggered, say internally, this is fear, this is stress, this is resentment. Naming creates distance, and distance creates choice. Tool 2, body first, then mind. Your body decides the first emotional tone, so before you spiral, do something physical. Slow your breathing for 10 breaths. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, take a short walk. It sounds too simple. It works because it changes your physiology, which changes the emotional signal. Tool 3, choose a value-based action. Ask, what would a disciplined, self-respecting person do next? Then do it, even imperfectly. No grand courage required, just the next step. Emotional mastery is built through repetition too. You don't become emotionally skilled once, you become it by practicing small moments. The top 1% aren't people who never get angry, they're people who recover faster, because they've trained the reset. They know a feeling is temporary, a choice is powerful. A new action becomes a new pattern. Imagine 2 people after a fight. Average stays stuck in the story. They disrespected me. They always do this. So they stay cold, or they lash out again. Champion says, that was painful. Now I choose how to respond. They may still be hurt, but they don't let hurt become their controller. They repair, they communicate, or they take space but they come back. That's mastery. Your emotions are going to show up. Here's the truth. You can't have a serious life without emotional storms. Ambition creates pressure, pressure creates feelings. But you can build the skill to handle them without abandoning your goals. That's what makes you dangerous, in a good way. Because when your mind is steady, your actions become unstoppable. Takeaway one-liner. Champions don't control every feeling, they control the action after the feeling. Chapter 7. The Daily Habits of the Top 1%. You want to think like the top 1%. Good. Then you have to live like them, at least the daily version of it. Because champions don't rise and fall on motivation, they run on habits. Habits are private little agreements between you and your future. Every day, you either keep them or break them, and your mind notices. Top 1% habits aren't flashy, they're boring in the best way. They're so consistent they become invisible. Let's build you a clear picture of what those daily habits actually look like, and more importantly, why they work. Habit number 1. They start before they feel ready. Here's the truth you don't want to hear. Readiness is a scam. Your mind will always find a reason to wait. I'm tired. I need one more day. I should research more first. Champions don't ignore feelings. They just refuse to let feelings become permission. So they start small. They may start with opening the notebook, setting up the workout shoes, writing the outline before writing the essay, sending the first email draft. They train the identity. I begin, because beginning is the hardest part. Habit number 2, they plan the next step, not the whole life. Average people plan like they're designing a dream vacation. They list 10 things for the day, and then they feel crushed when life happens. Top 1% people plan with precision. They ask, what is the one thing that, if done today, makes everything else easier? Then they schedule that first, not last. This habit protects your attention from getting hijacked. Habit number 3, they protect their focus like it's money. You already know distraction is stealing your time, but focus? Focus is also stealing your identity. Every time you drift, your brain records, we're not serious. So champions install focus systems. That might mean phone in another room, notifications off one tab, one task a start time rule, I begin at 7 o'clock sharp, a stop time rule, I stop at 8:30 even if I'm not done. The stop time rule is underrated. It prevents burnout and keeps consistency alive. Habit number 4, they train the body because the mind follows. You can't outthink a tired nervous system. Top 1% people move daily, not always intense, sometimes simple. A walk, stretching, strength training, mobility work. They understand that your body is your emotional instrument. When your body feels capable, your mind becomes less dramatic. When your body is neglected, your mind becomes a storyteller full of fear. So their habit is not be motivated, their habit is show up physically. Habit number 5, they do a daily proof routine. This is a champion secret. They create proof that they're the kind of person who follows through. How? They do a small action that confirms their standards. It might be 10 minutes of reading, 20 minutes of learning, 1 client outreach, 1 page of journaling, 1 video training session, 1 workout check-in. I did something. Even on chaotic days, they get proof. Proof breaks the loop of self-doubt. Habit number 6, they review and adjust, not judge themselves. Top 1% people don't just sprint, they reflect. But their reflection is clean and useful. At the end of the day, they ask, what did I do? What worked? What didn't? What's the one adjustment for tomorrow? No self-torture, no dramatic conclusions, because champions know emotions lie, systems tell the truth. Habit number 7, they keep their environment disciplined. Some days you lose because you're surrounded by invitations to quit, a cluttered room, a phone full of distractions. friends who normalize late starts, social media that feeds comparison. Top 1% people manage inputs like they're managing fuel. They don't trust willpower as their primary strategy. They design around their weaknesses. They build an environment where the right actions are easier than the wrong ones. A quick morning routine you can steal. Let's make it real. Here's a simple champion-style routine you can adapt. 2 minutes. Drink water, stand up, open the curtains. 1 minute. Write your intention for the day. Today I will. 5 minutes. Pick your one priority and set your timer. 10 minutes. Do the first action immediately. 30 seconds. Breathe, then begin like it's already happening. That's it. No magic, no perfection, just momentum. A warning: habits must match your identity. If you do habits while thinking, "I'm not that type of person," your mind will fight you. So you attach identity language. Instead of "I'm trying to be disciplined," try "I'm a person who keeps promises. I'm a person who starts. I'm a person who finishes what I started." Your brain believes the story that your actions repeat, and daily habits are how you repeat the story. Now take a moment and ask yourself something. What habit would you keep even on your worst day? That's the one that will change your life fastest, because the top 1% aren't perfect, they're faithful. Takeaway one-liner: the top 1% don't win by thinking harder, they win by showing up daily on purpose. Chapter 8: Turning Failure into Fuel. You're going to fail. If you're serious about growth, failure isn't a maybe, it's a payment plan. The difference between you and the top 1% isn't that they never fail, it's that they don't let failure stay in the driver's seat. Most people treat failure like a verdict, like a label, like proof. Top 1% people treat failure like a teacher. And yes, failure still hurts. It stings, it embarrasses you, it makes your mind search for reasons to quit. But champions have a process for the pain. They don't romanticize failure, they extract value from it. First, name what failure really is. Failure feels like, "I am not enough." Champion thinking reframes it as, "This is information. Information about timing, information about strategy, information about preparation, information about what you actually need to learn." Because failure rarely means you're doomed. It means you hit a gap between where you are and where you're going. That gap can be closed. A story, the audition, the rejection, the quiet spiral. Think about this scenario. You worked late for weeks. You practiced, you prepared, you even told yourself, "This time I'll finally prove it." Then you get the rejection message. No explanation, no comfort, just a polite door closing. For a moment, you feel sick. Your chest tightens. Your brain starts marching through the old story. "I knew it. I'm not talented. Other people get it easier. Maybe I should just stop." Average people call this being realistic. Champions call it the mind trying to keep you small. Because the real question is not, "Why did I fail?" The real question is, "What part of my system failed?" Not, "What's wrong with me?" What's wrong with the process? The champion failure formula: feel, learn, adjust, repeat. You can't skip the feeling. Don't lie to yourself. If it hurts, it hurts. But champions do not live inside the feeling. They move through it with structure. Step 1. Feel briefly. You allow the sting for a short, defined window, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour. You write what you're feeling. You don't scroll for distraction. Step 2. Learn. You ask 3 questions. What happened exactly? What did I do that contributed to the result? What could I do differently next time? Keep it honest. No excuses, no self-hate. Step 3. Adjust. You change one thing. 1, not 10 changes. Not, I'll overhaul my whole life. That's fantasy. Champions make a specific adjustment. More practice on the weak area, better time management, different messaging, training with feedback, tighter scope. Step 4. Repeat. You don't wait for confidence. You create it by re-entering the game. Failure becomes fuel only when you turn it into action. The biggest trap, making failure personal. Here's what makes failure dangerous. It can become identity. When you say, I failed, so I'm a failure, you stop experimenting. You stop trying new methods because trying new methods feels like risking your identity. So you cling to what already happened. You play it safe. You shrink. The top 1% refuse to do that. They keep failure in its proper place, temporary. They say, I didn't get the result yet, not, I will never get it. That tiny shift changes everything. Failure and fear are roommates, so you need boundaries. When you fail, fear comes over like, don't do it again. That pain is proof you shouldn't risk it. Champion response. Thank you, fear. I hear you. Now move. Because fear will try to protect you by reducing your efforts, your reach, your ambition. So champions set boundaries. I'm allowed to feel this and still try. I'm allowed to be nervous and still act. I'm allowed to be disappointed and still show up tomorrow. You don't have to love failure. You just have to stop obeying fear. How to extract value fast. The 24-hour debrief. Try this after any loss, setback, or missed goal. Within 24 hours, do a quick debrief. Write it down. 1. The outcome. What happened? 1 sentence. 2. The variables. What was in my control? What wasn't? 3. The lesson. What did I learn about myself or the situation? 4. The adjustment. What's the single next improvement? 5. The action. When will I take the next step? This does 2 things. It stops you from spiraling. It forces movement. Because if you don't create a next step, failure turns into a story, and stories are hard to kill. A real-life example you can relate to. Training consistency. Maybe you're trying to lose weight or get stronger. Week 1, you're fired up. Week 2, you miss a workout. Week 3, you miss 2. Then you start saying, I messed up, so I might as well quit. That's the failure story. It's not even the skipped workouts that wreck you, it's the meaning you attach to them. Top 1% people respond like this. Cool, I missed. Now my job is to return fast. They don't use failure as permission to disappear. They use failure as a signal to tighten the system. Maybe they set a non-negotiable minimum. Maybe they change the schedule. Maybe they prepare meals. Maybe they ask for accountability. Failure becomes fuel because it reveals where your system is weak. Your promise to yourself. You're not just building skills, you're building resilience. And resilience is the ability to stay loyal to your goals even when reality doesn't clap for you. So the next time failure shows up, I want you to do something different. Don't ask, why me? Ask, what am I supposed to learn so I can level up? Because champions aren't addicted to winning, they're committed to improving. Takeaway one-liner. Failure isn't the end of the story. It's the receipt that shows you what to fix next. Chapter 9. Surrounding yourself with a champion's environment. You can't think your way out of a bad environment. Not for long. Your mindset matters. Absolutely. But your environment is like gravity. It quietly pulls your behavior in a direction before you even notice. That's why the top 1% don't only train their minds, they engineer their surroundings. Because if your phone feeds distraction, your plans will get diluted. If your friends celebrate almost, you'll drift toward almost. If your workplace rewards excuses, your ambition will learn to whisper. So let's talk about the champion's environment, the one that makes success feel inevitable even when your motivation is low. The environment is invisible until it isn't. Have you ever noticed how you become a different version of yourself depending on where you are? At home, you might binge YouTube at night. At the gym, you push harder. With focused people, you work longer. With chaotic people, you start rushing, making sloppy decisions. That's not personality, that's environment. Your brain adapts to what it's exposed to. So if you want top 1% thinking, you need top 1% inputs. What a champion environment has and why. A champion's environment is built on 3 pillars. 1. Clear examples of excellence. You need people or proof that greatness is real, not to compare in a toxic way. To calibrate your standards. When you see how someone works, talks, prioritizes, and recovers, you stop believing success is random. You start believing it's learnable. Even if you can't meet the person, you can study their process, their interviews, their routines, their books, their public breakdowns of mistakes. Champions surround themselves with evidence of possibility. 2. Accountability that doesn't let you disappear. Average people love freedom without responsibility. Champions love accountability because it gives them structure when they're tempted to drift. Accountability can be a coach, a training partner, a weekly check-in group, a friend who calls you out kindly, a system where you report your progress. The key isn't pressure, the key is visibility. When your actions are visible, your excuses get smaller. A real scenario, the silent spiral. Picture you at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. You were supposed to work for an hour earlier. You didn't. Now you're tired. It's easy to say, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. The spiral is quiet. Nobody sees it. Nobody checks. So your brain treats the promise like it doesn't matter. Now picture another version. You have a training partner. You messaged them earlier. Gym at 7. When 7 rolls around and you're about to skip, your phone lights up with, "Still on for 7?" Suddenly you remember your identity. You remember your promise. Accountability turns decisions into actions. It's not about guilt, it's about commitment. 3. Inputs that match your goals. Champion environments don't just change who you're around, they change what you consume. If you're trying to build discipline and your feed is full of dopamine traps, you're asking your mind to swim upstream. So you reduce the toxins. Less doom scrolling, fewer people who drain your energy, fewer fun habits that quietly steal your time, and you increase the useful inputs. Training content that teaches skill books and notes that refine your thinking, communities where people are serious about improvement. Your environment teaches you how to behave, so choose what you're being taught. How to build your champion environment step by step. Let's make this practical. Step 1. Identify your top 3 leaks. Where is your focus leaking? Be honest. Social media at night, certain friends, late night texting, unstructured weekends, your desk setup. Write them down, not to shame yourself, to diagnose. Step 2. Replace one leak with one anchor. Instead of removing without adding, add a replacement. Example: if you waste time at night, replace with a close-down routine. Charge your phone outside the bedroom, read 10 pages, write tomorrow's first step. If a friend triggers your procrastination, reduce the interaction or set boundaries. Not dramatic, strategic.
Your new anchor should make the right choice easier. Step 3. Engineer friction against old habits. Champions understand that willpower is not infinite, so they use friction. They make the wrong choice annoying and the right choice convenient. Examples: delete the distracting app, log out of accounts, set website blockers, keep workout clothes visible, prep your calendar template the night before, schedule your tasks at fixed times. Friction isn't punishment, it's protection. Choosing your people without becoming harsh. Now, you might worry, but what if I need to keep my friends? What if they judge me? Listen, you don't have to cut everyone off like a robot villain. You can stay kind and still be selective. A champion's environment often looks like this. You keep supportive people close. You limit time with energy vampires. You find a training group that shares your standards. Think of it like building a team around your mission. The subtle test. Do your surroundings upgrade or downgrade you? Ask yourself after spending time with certain people, do I feel more motivated or more numb? Do I take action afterward or do I scroll? Do I talk big or do I follow through? If the environment consistently pulls you down, you don't need a dramatic fight. You need a strategic shift. Your new identity needs new neighbors. Here's the deeper truth. Your brain is loyal to patterns. If you live in an environment where quitting is normal, your brain learns quitting. If you live where later is the default, your brain learns later. But if you repeatedly act around people who respect discipline, you learn discipline. You become the person the environment expects. That's why champions don't just try harder. They relocate their identity into spaces that reward it. One last scene, the moment you realize it's working. Imagine a morning where you wake up and feel calm, not because everything is easy, but because your environment is helping you. Your gym bag is ready, your calendar is clear, your phone isn't a trap, your group chat expects updates. Your mind still feels fear, but it doesn't get the wheel, because your environment has already started training you to think like a champion. Takeaway one-liner. Your environment is your daily coach. Choose one that teaches you to win. Chapter 10. The final shift. Becoming who you were built to be. You're not too late, but you are at a turning point. This chapter is the shift from trying to improve to becoming someone who can't stay the same. And that sounds dramatic, but it's not magic. It's mindset plus identity plus repeated behavior until it feels normal. Right now, your life is a result of your default settings, your default thoughts, your default reactions, your default standards. And if those defaults have been getting you the same results, then the answer isn't another pep talk. The answer is a final shift, not just what you do. How you see yourself while you're doing it. Step 1. Stop asking, "Can I?" and start asking, "Do I live like this?" Average people look for permission. They ask, "Can I really change? Will this work for me? Is it smart to try?" Top 1% people operate from a different question. Do I live like this already? That question is powerful because it turns the spotlight away from fear and toward identity. You don't wait to become disciplined. You act disciplined, so you become the kind of person discipline belongs to. Step 2. Treat your standards like sacred. Let's talk about a quiet problem that kills champions in training.
Your standards probably aren't low because you're weak. They're low because you're inconsistent with yourself. You say, "I want to be better," but your actions say, "Maybe." Maybe you skip sometimes. Maybe you half do it. Maybe you negotiate. Maybe you start tomorrow. Those may sound small, they're not, because your mind keeps a ledger. Every time you bend your promise, your brain learns you're not serious. And if you're not serious, why would you expect extraordinary results? The final shift is this: you stop negotiating with your standard. Not with kindness, not with ego, with boundaries. You become loyal to the version of you that your future needs. Step 3. Build a champion identity sentence that actually matches reality. You've heard identity talk before. It can sound cheesy if it's not grounded. So here's how to do it properly. Create one sentence that describes what you do when it's hard, not when life is easy. Examples: you keep going even when you don't feel like it. You show up for your one priority every day. You do the next step in under 10 minutes. You don't quit after the first setback. You return fast, even when you mess up. Then, this is key, pair it with one daily behavior that proves it. Identity without proof is just imagination. Champion identity is proven through repetition. A story about the moment it clicks. Think about someone you've watched for years. You know the type. They don't just talk about progress, they keep moving. Maybe they had a difficult year. Maybe they lost money. Maybe their body fought them. Maybe the relationship got rocky. And yet, they kept training. They kept learning. They kept showing up. You might look at that and think, they're just built different. But the truth is less glamorous and more motivating. They built a rule. They built a standard. They built a routine that outlived their mood. The moment it clicks isn't when the world rewards them. It's when they stop waiting for permission. The final shift happens when you stop trying to earn your right to grow. You start growing as proof you already have that right. Step 4. Make your environment serve the new you. Remember Chapter 9? This matters more than ever here. If you become a champion but your environment is still set up for your old behavior, you'll keep getting triggered back into the past. So the final shift includes small upgrades. Your phone is not a casino. Your calendar doesn't allow endless someday. Your people don't normalize delay. Your workspace supports focus. Your routines protect your energy. You're not changing your personality, you're changing your support system. Because if your environment is strong, your willpower stops being the main character. Step 5. Practice the return like it's a skill. There's a secret champions share quietly. They don't avoid failure. They avoid long interruptions. The final shift is becoming excellent at the return. You mess up? Fine. Everybody does. But then you return quickly. You don't spiral for days. You don't abandon your standard because you broke it once. You repair. You might use the champion reset from earlier. Name the thought. Separate it from fact. Choose the next action. Do the step immediately. Because the top 1% mindset isn't about never falling. It's about how fast you stand back up and keep the mission alive. What you were built for. Let me say something directly because I want you to really hear it. You were built for more than repeating the same patterns and calling it being realistic. You were built for effort that feels uncomfortable, for discipline that doesn't always feel romantic, for growth that doesn't ask your emotions for approval. You were built for a life where your future self is not a stranger, it's you, showing up consistently enough that your identity can finally catch up, your final command. So here's your assignment. Today, choose your identity sentence, choose your standard, choose your one daily proof. Then when life tries to pull you back, when fear, tiredness, doubt or temptation shows up, you don't negotiate, you return, and you become. Takeaway one-liner: the top 1% don't wait to become champions, they live like they already are. Outro: you made it. And I'm proud of you for listening all the way to the end. But here's the real question, and I want you to answer it honestly. What are you going to do differently tomorrow? Because motivation is loud at night, and results are quiet in the morning. Your habits will speak when your feelings go silent. Your mindset will show up when nobody's clapping. This audiobook wasn't meant to make you feel good for a day. It was meant to change the way you think when life gets messy. When you feel the urge to delay, when fear tells you to be realistic, when your emotions try to take the wheel, remember what you learned. The gap between average and the top 1% isn't some secret talent. It's the way champions handle discomfort, interpret failure, and keep their standards when it would be easier to quit. You learned that champions think usefully. They don't wrestle every feeling. They steer the action after the feeling. They turn vision into obsessive goals and build mental toughness through repetition, not hype. And most importantly, they don't just chase success. They build an environment and a process that keeps working even when they don't feel like it. So let me leave you with one unforgettable thought, one that can carry you through the days where you want to abandon your plan. Your future isn't built by your best day. It's built by your return days. The days you messed up a little, the days you felt off, the days it wasn't perfect. If you can return quickly, adjust cleanly, and keep going, you win. That's how champions are made. Go be the person who doesn't negotiate with your standard. Go keep the promise you made to yourself. And when temptation shows up, when doubt shows up, when fear shows up, you don't wait to feel ready. You act like you already are.